Welcome back to the Sarah Watts YouTube channel. Me and Sarah here again. What are we looking at today, Sarah?
We're looking at ensemble books, from beginner grassroots ensemble to slightly more advanced.
Ensemble books. And this is the tip of the iceberg, this big pile, isn't it? So yeah, we just thought we'd take you through what's available for ensembles, what ensembles they are. I think we'll get into a lot of this, but a lot of what I like about what you do is that these ensembles are very mix and match.
Yeah.
You can tell me if I'm wrong, but practically everything here can be used with whatever you've got.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Maybe the strings one is slightly different.
You could do it with a solo as long as you've got the backing track. You can, as long as somebody's playing the tune, and then you know, do it with one or two or three or whatever. And again, we'll get into it, but very mixed ability as well. Yes.
So it's not just about I've got a mix of instruments, but they all have to be at the same standard.
Yeah.
There's lines for sort of various stages of your playing.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Lovely. Well, let's go through them. So, top of the pile, in more ways than one, 5-note Philharmonic.
Yes. Yeah.
Which has been a big hit in schools since it was released.
Yeah.
Released quite a while ago now, wasn't it?
Nominated for an award.
Nominated for an award. Yeah. It's 2017.
Well, yeah.
So tell us about 5-note Philharmonic.
Okay. 5-note Philharmonic works.
That's all you need to know. There you go, we're done.
So it's basically an ensemble, your real grassroots ensemble for the first 5 notes that every instrument played. I did a lot of research for this book, so it's something that the player's going to feel really comfortable with. It's not just random 5 notes. It really is the first, pretty much 5 notes that they learn, or even some cases 3 notes that they learn, but a really easy way into that's going to give them a really positive experience of ensemble playing right from the start. And the pieces are fun. Did you know there's a shrimp piece in every book?
I do know that there's a shrimp piece in every book. Do you want to explain why there's a shrimp piece in every book, or are we leaving it as a mystery?
Keep it a secret. Because my other name is Shrimpton, and so that's why there's a shrimp piece in every book. But there's certainly so there's parts for C melody high, C melody, C harmony, B flat, B flat melody, E flat, horn part, violin, cello, bass, and piano. So it is really flexible. And
again, you can have a mix.
Absolutely.
Of, so you've got your C, your B flat, your E flat instruments. And it doesn't matter how many you have.
No. You could just do it as a solo with an accompaniment.
So anything from one person up.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you can play the pieces.
And it really is feel good. So it sounds good, but it's not difficult.
Yeah.
Really easy stuff. So this, if you want to start an ensemble, this is your book.
Yeah.
And then, can I talk about the next one?
Let's talk about the next one. These are our library copies, so they do have. I'll take the book out, and then I'll maybe show some of the
parts. Yeah. So this one is another one of the 5-note Philharmonic book, but this is 5-note Philharmonic and Friends. So this is really, really useful because it really is mixed ability, and it has parts for the very grassroots players to start with again, but it also has parts for more advanced players. And all kinds of people have done this, and sometimes like community projects where adult wind bands have joined in school groups, that sort of thing. And so there's the more advanced parts which you don't need. You can still do it like this. The basic, but if you've got a young player whose grades something higher on some mad instrument, there's a part for them there. So pretty much everything that you've got there, but it's a mixed group. Really,
absolutely should be essential if you're starting a band at school or a school orchestra. These two together are perfect, aren't they? Because you can progress right from the first book. And work your way through, and then as some players get more advanced, and then you have the next year that comes along at the lower end, you start on the purple book.
That's right, and no one's going to feel intimidated because there's such easy parts that everybody will be happy, and also those that think they're too good for for the easy parts, there'll be something for them too.
I think that's really important as well, because it can be quite intimidating if you're playing in an orchestra or something, and you feel like it's not, or it's slightly above your level. So the fact that you can really tailor the parts to the player.
Just takes one bad
fabulous.
Experience to stop people playing.
Yeah. And so with these books, you get these packs, don't you? So you get a book with the scoring.
Yeah.
And that also comes with a download of backing tracks, is more of a rhythm section.
Yes, that's right.
So if you've got sort of players that can play the melodic lines that are in there, but maybe you haven't got a rhythm section at that stage that can actually accompany easily. These are more advanced sort of rhythm section parts, so you get a real kind of...
There's 2 tempos as
big
well.
feel to it.
Yeah, that's right.
2 tempos again.
Slow and fast.
But you get these parts.
These are photocopyable parts as well for this. Yeah.
So a piano part, standard piano part. That might be, the teacher might end up playing that to begin with.
Yeah.
The C melody, the C high and things there as well. So again, C melody part, pretty easy starting place.
Oh yeah.
But you're going through, so you get all of these. You can photocopy them as much as you like in your school. Don't hand them to another school. No. But we've also got the more advanced parts. So the E flat part, for instance. So I think the C part on that first piece was kind of like 3 or 4 notes.
Yeah. So this is a more advanced
This is a more advanced E flat part. So you can see, the keys are obviously harder in an E flat instrument anyway. But you've got more notes in there, more things going on. But that's to add in the advanced players, which you don't need.
Yeah.
So you get a lot there for
I've had a lot of positive feedback on this, that of groups that have gone in with adults playing even, and it works. It just does work. Yeah, and
absolutely.
It's useful. It's just
absolutely. So, and some of these books follow this same sort of pattern.
Yeah.
But so that's 5-note Philharmonic.
Okay.
What's up next, Sarah?
Right. So now we have Band in a Book. Now this is literally what it says. It has all the parts in one book. And there's a similar lineup. So there's C instrument 1, C instrument 2, high C part, B flat 2, and a mixture. But the reason I did this, and it works in a different way to the other books, is that if you've got 3 players, they can just share a stand, and you get all the parts. You can see them all on one stand. There's a piano part and a teacher's book that's separate with all the accompaniments in. There's also in these books there's improvising notes. So this is a great book to be creative with, and it would work well in the classroom too. So for instance, there's a tone row. I don't know if you can see this, but there's a tone row of notes which will all work all the way through the piece. So if you've got a more advanced player that doesn't want to just play the tune, they can take an improvisation, or you can experiment with building things up. But these are fun tunes, and Shrimp Circus, there you go, a shrimp piece, all quite characterful and good for kind of performance, but quite flexible. Yeah. So we've got, sorry, you were going to say something?
Well, I was just going to say, so the difference between this and perhaps the 5-note Philharmonic is the 5-note Philharmonic is slightly more of a formal,
more structured. Probably. That's right. Yeah.
If you were setting out your school orchestra, you would, you've got your C parts, but you might have all the C instruments playing the C part, and so on. This, you could have a real mixture of. You could have somebody playing an E flat part set next to a C part, and they're both playing the same thing.
That's right.
All from the book.
Yeah.
So if you're not in that kind of formal school orchestra situation yet, and you just know you've got 11, 12 kids that play anything from a tuba to an oboe to you can literally split them up and say, you're part 1, you're part 2.
That's right. Yeah.
And you do it like that, rather than saying, well, oboes are going to play this and you're going to play that. You can have a real mixture.
It could work similarly though. You could use it in a orchestra setting.
You could go more formal, but I think it's the selling point of this to me is it's that kind of beginner ensemble.
Yes, definitely.
Whatever you've got, it's going to work. Yeah. And also, you're kind of learning about how different parts go together, as opposed to just knowing your part.
Yeah.
and it being ignorant to what else is going on, which
Yeah.
a lot of us in orchestras were like that when I was younger. Didn't really care what anyone else was playing.
It means you listen to each
but
other.
you know, I'd love the idea. You know, when I was at an age to doing this, I was playing the trumpet, but the idea that you know, playing the trumpet and a flautist could play the same line, as opposed to, you know, everyone always, because playing certain instruments, you always get stuck on, well, you're doing a harmonic part or you're doing this, but you can you know, you can really switch it around with this.
Yes, you could do. Can I do a shout out for the Christmas version of this book? This is so useful. It's basically really easy access Christmas carols, and so you've got they're really easy to play. In the bleak midwinter, I see amid the winter snow, the first Noel, all your trot away in a manger. But you could accompany singing with these, and they're so easy. And adult ensembles, you can use these for, you know, to accompany carol singing or. But it's flexible. There's pretty much something for everything. So that is basically a Christmas carol pack with accompaniment there.
Tell me if I'm completely wrong.
Yeah.
So I would say that. So yeah, band in the book and 5-note philharmonic. You know, really good for beginner ensemble.
Yeah, absolutely. And while we're talking about beginner ensemble, this was one of the early ones. Really easy band book,
right?
Which is very similar. So this is really easy grassroots ensemble things, and the same sort of part: C melody 1, 2 harmony, C harmony, B flat, easy C, easy B flat, bass. I don't think there's an F part in this. So is there an E flat? Yeah, there is an E flat and percussion part, so that's good as well. I think I would say if you're starting off though, go for 5-note philharmonic, because that is, you know, that's the first way in. But all of these work, and they're all good, you know, good tunes to use.
I guess style wise, they're of a similar upbeat style, aren't they?
But
there's still like the occasional ballad and things, and there isn't no other thing. So
there's a real mixture, yeah.
The jazzy pieces in this book will give beginners of all ages the encouragement and confidence they need to sound really great.
Yes, that's what we're aiming at.
That's what you do, isn't it?
That's what I try and do.
I think you know what sums up all of these books, and you know that's what you do. You try and giving encouragement and confidence to sound good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which, you know, I think that's the key thing. So so there's no F part, but there's plenty of melodic parts and easy parts.
Yeah.
As well. So presumably, this has got an easy C part and then it's got some melodic C parts. Yeah.
So it's not
like
necessarily
advanced,
the tune,
but there's an easier part if you need it.
It's somebody. So it's something for everyone to play. If somebody's only been playing a few weeks, they probably could manage that easy part, which is generally only 2 or 3 notes, something like that.
And again, with this, you get all the parts in there.
Yeah.
So it's all photocopyable. You get the score in the book, all the parts there.
Absolutely.
It comes with, again, downloads of the tracks.
Yeah.
So that you've got those to practice along to, which again tend to be centred around the rhythm section. Just so if you haven't got that rhythm section to carry things.
Yeah. You probably would have a melody line on that too.
Yeah. Lovely.
2 different tempos, always.
Lovely.
Shall I do this one?
Yes. Class combo.
Class combo. So this is another ensemble resource, but this is very grassroots, mainly for use in the classroom. So it's got a lot of classroom instruments. So you get pitch percussion, recorders. I think there's C and B flat parts and stuff. But also in this, you'll get some body percussion as well.
Yeah.
So this is and songs. So this is a real classroom resource. Yeah. So, but it is very easy. So ideal for key stage 1 and 2. And just useful for the classroom.
This is more if nobody's taken up an instrument and things like that. But you know, singing is still massively encouraged in schools.
There's ukulele parts in here too.
Oh, who wants that?
And keyboard parts.
Yeah.
So there's everything that you're likely to have.
But you can include everybody in it.
Yeah.
So if someone doesn't want to sing, they can be doing the body percussion bits.
Yeah.
If they're comfortable singing, if they play an instrument, they can join
Something
in.
for
And
everyone.
it doesn't matter what the instrument is.
No.
So that's real, like you say, grassroots.
Yeah, but it's very,
classroom
very easy.
music.
So
yeah.
I wouldn't say if you're looking for an orchestra resource
this
or an
is-
ensemble, that's not for you.
This is before all of that, isn't it?
This is classroom.
This is real first steps and
Yeah.
just doing something musical in the
Yeah,
classroom
that's
that,
right.
that involves everybody, which
Yeah.
is really difficult
Yeah,
because
it is.
as soon as you start teaching music in the classroom, you get those mixed abilities of children that
Yeah.
have already had instrumental lessons
Yeah.
or learnt to play the ukulele or
Yeah,
guitar,
yeah.
and ones that have done absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
And this
You can-
it'll
you
encompass
can-
everybody
yeah,
in
absolutely.
one thing.
And there's songs and they're fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. Is this a good point to do a shout out for the really easy jazz band book, which we
Yeah. Let's do that then.
That's another one which is
So it's here.
yeah. We don't have a copy of it.
Really easy jazz band book.
I love it because it's a really first introduction to playing jazz, and there's some cool jazz numbers. Really no fail introduction into improvisation, and a really flexible part. So there's an easy both of C, B flat, E flat. And keyboard, bass, drums.
Yeah.
So you can do it in any combination, or you could do it just with 3 E flats or 3 B flats or 3 Cs. And so it's mega kind of flexible, and they're fun pieces. But it is a really good introduction to a jazz band. So it's a really easy jazz band book.
And I think when you start that kind of first jazz band ensemble, certainly in my education it was huge for me.
Yeah.
It was absolutely
Me too,
massive.
yeah.
And we had a book, I've got no idea what it was called,
Yeah.
but I can still remember some of the pieces of it. And they weren't hard to play.
Yeah.
But I remember my teacher and my teacher's wife used to come in, and if we were playing a performance, she'd come in and play along with the jazz band.
Yeah.
And I remember her favourite piece, which was, if you're watching Stella, Mexican Jumping Bean.
All right.
And I could sing it to you now.
Yeah.
And but it's those kind of books
Yeah,
that
absolutely.
they really stick with
Yeah,
you. You know, I can remember so many pieces in that book that everyone loved playing it, just because it was something that, you know, when you start doing those little jazzy things, it kind of just elevates you to, oh wow, I can do that.
Yeah,
territory.
It's an introduction to playing a swing feel and sort of jazz quavers, but
And
in an easy way.
Introducing a little bit of improvisation and things like that.
No fail. So no intimidation. The notes that are there will all work.
Yeah. So really, I think really good books. They're the kind of books that you get to. They're maybe not necessarily a first thing that you would do with an ensemble, but you certainly might have had an ensemble running for a year or two and you think, well, okay, I'm going to do a little jazz ensemble for those that are interested.
Absolutely, yeah.
And it's so good for that.
Yeah.
Okay, lovely. Right, next up.
Flavour Fusions.
Flavour Fusions.
Yeah, okay.
Which, this is a series of books, isn't it?
It is, and it's fairly hot off the press,
It
really.
is. It's still in its infancy,
Yes.
this collection.
And I think it's yet to be discovered, so I think people need to know about this. So we thought it'd be nice to do some music from different traditions, different cultures. For various reasons, so perhaps some students can recognise music from their culture or their tradition. I worked with other people on this, so I just edited this.
Yeah.
But the series I compiled it, but the actual tunes were written or arranged by people from that tradition.
They were specialists within these.
Or somebody with a specialist, exactly.
Yeah. So just to go through what we have. So we have African folk tunes, we have Tango collection, we have a Bollywood collection, which is awesome as well, and the Caribbean folk tunes.
That's right, yeah.
Now, I think you're selling yourself a little short here. So these were all written by other people.
Yes.
But it was kind of going back to my newfound Sarah Watts method slightly again, was it? Because you cracked the whip.
I did. I put the template there and said, this is what we can only use these notes, or this is what we'll, and it is my template.
So these are very much in it's not the style of your writing as such, but the way that you've put your other band books together, and it's along the same form of how they work and how they go, with the same kind of instrumental parts available to everybody.
That's right.
But using composers that specialise in each area.
Yeah, and they're people, I especially chose people that I really respect, and they are real experts, and you know, this is good stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So a really nice collection of things.
Yeah.
I think as well, if you're studying certain things, or if you're doing a term on a certain geographical area or somewhere, you know, these would be great to try and include into, you know, sort of
they're very
ensembles playing in assemblies and things
colourful
like that.
books too, and there's a lot. Can I just talk through them very quickly? So at the African Folk Tunes, Helen Aduru, she's a percussionist, a professional percussionist, plays in the London Symphony Orchestra quite often, and she did the arrangements for this. And some of them are traditional African tunes, well, most of them are, and she's done a lovely job. And there's amazing percussion parts in here. So even if you've got a percussion ensemble, or there's so colourful and vibrant. And then the Bollywood one, Kay Charlton did, and she runs Bollywood Brass in London. They do lots of community work, some amazing percussion parts in here, and some it's not actual Bollywood pieces, but they're in the style of Bollywood, but really good. She's done a great job there. The Tango, Karen Street, is an amazing accordion player and an expert at tango. She runs a tango band. She's an incredible musician, and she's done some wonderful things. These would work with small ensembles, you know, wind ensembles. They work really well. Andy Grappi, well-known educationalist, he's done the Caribbean folk tunes. He comes from that tradition. He's done a lovely job of that, and he's worked a lot in music education in this country, and I'm sure, you know, you'll recognise his name, but he's done a great job as well.
I'm just going to, as that one's open, I'm just going to whip that out. So yeah, these are very much on form with like the 5-note philharmonic, aren't they?
Yeah, that's right.
You know, again, you've got melodic and harmonic parts. You've got C, B flat and E flat. Probably a bit more percussion in
there
these,
is a lot more because of the styles of the pieces,
because they just lend themselves to it. Then you've got rhythm section parts, you've got piano part, bass part. Piano part comes with chords as well, so if you've got guitarists or uke players or anything like that, bass lines,
so it's all flexible, and it's there. The music, you know, the compilers, the composers have done the music, but very much in a sort of a traditional and authentic way.
I would say getting more advanced, but not complex.
Yes, it's not. I wouldn't say it goes much higher than about grade 3, 4, pushing it.
Yeah, I'd say it's not necessary for a complete beginner.
Oh no, not at all.
So something like the class combo going on to one of your band books, then going on to something like this. So sort of
there are some easier parts.
Years 5 and 6 students maybe would be these would be perfect for. And like I say, you know, incorporating them into other learning areas as well would be fantastic.
Absolutely.
But yeah, lovely books. All the parts again. These don't come with downloaded tracks, but you get photocopiable parts and everything else that you're going to need.
That's right. Yeah. Okay.
Lovely. Right.
So these are other ensemble books. Just to finish off with. These are more traditional, but still in the fun style. Windbags, recorder ensemble. That's with all the parts: descant, treble, tenor. There's no bass part, but they're fun pieces.
I know quite a few windbags.
Do you? So that's book 2. This is book 1. So there's 2 books of recorder ensembles, but they're really useful things, and they're fun. They're not sort of Brussels Sprout Blues. There you go.
Brussels Sprout Blues. Wow.
And so that is string bag. So that's a beginner. Not complete beginner, but a string ensemble with a similar sort of feels things.
So I guess the difference is everything we've seen before these is pretty much any instrumentation you like. It will be covered there. These are a little bit more specific, recorder and strings.
That's right.
And again, you know, sort of, these are really, you know, if you're putting together a little string ensemble, as quite often happens, you have, as well as having your orchestra or band, you might have a brass ensemble, a string ensemble, and things like that, or a recorder ensemble. This is an ideal first book, isn't it? In
fact, all the early books you could do with just strings or just brass, or they would work. And you know, like I said, the Easy Jazz Band book you could do with, you know, just saxes or just trumpets or just something else, or so most of them are really flexible, and you can, all I want them to be is useful. So if you need to move the parts around or do something, that's all right.
Lovely. And again, this comes with parts that are photocopyable, so you can dish those out to wherever you like. Well, that is a lot of ensemble. In fact, if you buy all of this,
you'll be going for years.
You've got enough to last you for, you know, sort of. Well, you've got enough to last your student from their starting at school until finishing at school, and you've got the actual. I know. Yeah, perhaps we should offer these on some kind of mega discount for buying the whole lot. The Sarah Watts collection. Okay. Watch this space.
Nice to hear any recordings of any of these, by the way.
I think particularly of the ensemble stuff, if you're out there and you're using this, please do send it into the channel and send us recordings, and we might feature you on a video at some point.
Who knows?
Would be awesome. Well, so we are all ensembled out. And thank you again for joining us. I mean, it's really helpful to go through all of this, because I mean, I've known these books for years, but actually going through them one by one just refreshes the memory of what's in there. And but please do join us again. Thank you for watching. Please do like, subscribe, and hit that notification button.
Thank you.